Hi guys, this is a really quick demo video of the latest updates to Zoho CRM Toolbox. So you now have a dashboard, and as you can see on this dashboard, it'll show you modules where you have invalid phone numbers or email addresses. Now I only have some test data in here, so this is my contact where I've got some bad data. As you can see by the message down here, we're still working on this, we're adding new functionality, so if you've got any ideas on how to make this even better, please do let us know. You can always just get in touch by clicking over here and chatting with us. All right, so let's start by clicking into this contact who has a bad phone number. And we can see here that there's a bad email and a bad phone number. Now, if we go to the CRM Toolbox widget, so here, this is the advanced notes. We'll come back to this. That's really awesome. But let's start by fixing the email address. So we can see here, this is a bad email address. So let's add a new email address, and that will be help@zepartner.net. And you can use this email address to get in touch if you need to. And here it shows all the email address fields I have on this module. If I had any custom email fields on this module, they would also appear here. So I'm going to say put that in the email, and I'm going to say verify. There we go. So it's checked. It says, yes, that's correct, and it's verified. So if we reload the contact record and we look here, now the email address is set to that new email address. So let's say we don't want to use the widget. Let's say we just want to change an email address here. If you go to your automation settings, you'll see you have the option to automatically validate phone numbers, and you can either validate or verify an email address whenever they change on one of these modules. So I've got mine set to verify because I'm on the gold package, so I get 250 verifies per day, but the bronze package only has 10 verifies per day, as the verify credits cost quite a bit of money for us. So if you're on the basic one and you want to save your 10, then I recommend switching to validate on all of these. So that will check that the domain exists, e.g. it's at gmail.com, and Gmail can receive email, but it won't tell you that johnsmith@gmail.com is a real mailbox and can receive mail, whereas verify will. So verify will tell you, say it's an iCloud email address, and iCloud emails are always bouncing back because the mailbox is full. So if you ran a verify on a full iCloud email, it would come back and say, yes, it's a real email address, but it's invalid at the moment because it can't receive any email because it's full. So that's really awesome. But anyway, so for my settings, I've set everything to be automatic, and I've set phone numbers to automatically validate when I enter them. You'll note here that I've also set my default country as the United Kingdom because that's where I'm based, but you can set this to whichever country you're in, and then we'll come back to these things. So if we go back here, let's set this to 01727 846 361. That's a valid phone number that I know works in the UK, and give that a second to do its business. There we go. So it's updated it to having the correct international dialing code, which is great. If you use any text messaging extensions, then they'll usually require you to have that +44 or +1 or whichever country you're in. They'll require you to have that country code at the front. So this automatically cleanses your data for you, which is awesome. And if we go down here now, we can see that has invalid phone number is no longer ticked, and it was last checked at 6:30 p.m. today. And the email was last checked at 6:28 p.m. today, and also it doesn't have any invalid email addresses. So say we are going to add a secondary email address and we decide to add a bad email. Okay, so let's just do that and hope nobody owns this domain. Okay, click enter there. And because of our automation settings, we will now be able to see in just a few seconds that this now has invalid email addresses on it again. So this is really helpful because you can filter by these fields. So you can run reports, you can see all the records that have invalid email addresses, or all the records where the last checked at is X number of days in the past or is empty. So you can see which of your records need to have their email addresses validated or verified. It's really amazing. You can do so much with it. All right, so let's go back to the Toolbox widget that lives here on the contact record, but you'll find the same widget on the accounts, on leads, on deals, and on vendors. All right, So now that we're on here, we can see that this note is surrounded in a red border, and this is red here. Now I'm actually logged in as John Sample user. So I'm logged in as this guy. The reason it's showing in red here is because I'm mentioned in this note. So I can actually filter that. So I just see notes where I'm mentioned, or I can see all notes. And I can also click here, and if other users on the system had left notes, I'd be able to filter and just show the notes from those particular people. So say there's 10 people in my team and I just want to see notes from 2 of those people, I could select those 2 people from this list and see just the notes they've left on here, which is really awesome. So if I want to add a new note, I can come here and I can just write whatever I want in here. So I'm going to write, this is a new note. And I'm going to say this is bold, and this is italic, and this is a header. Let's do header in all caps. And oh yeah, we can add emojis. There we go. So if you're on a Windows computer, you can hit the Windows key plus V for Victor. And then you can just go here to the emojis, and then you can select whichever emojis you want. So we'll do some of those. All right, there we go. And then let's make this a header. So just change that to header, make this italic. So either Control I, or you can hit the italic thing up here. You can go bold, which is Control B, or you can hit the B up there. And then this is a new note. Let's strike through on that. All right, you can add links here. You can change the color. You can do so much, okay? And none of this is possible in the Zoho notes. So here we can tag. So we're going to tag Jane in this one. That's our other user. We can also attach files. So here I'm just going to drag a file into the drop zone, and I'm going to drop my file there, and you can see a little preview of the file. You can also have PDFs, for example. So I'm going to drag a PDF file, and you can add as many attachments as you like there. So I'm going to click save, and there we go. So we have our new note here. You see it's minimized to save space, but we can expand it, and we can see this is a new note, the bold text, the italic text, the header text, and oh yeah, we can add emojis. So that's pretty cool. And then we can see our attachments here. So we can click into our attachment and that downloads. And same with the PDF. So you got full usage here. We can see that we've tagged Jane, but we are not Jane. So that's why it doesn't show in red for us. But when Jane loads up, she'll see this one in red, and she'll see this one as normal. And also when she does this, she'll only see that note where she's tagged. So it's really powerful. You can also search notes. Now, I know that's a big thing for people, is not being able to search notes, because up here in the normal Zoho CRM, you can't search notes, you can't filter them, you can't do anything, which is part of the reason why we built this app. So here, for example, if we search for new, then only this one pops up. If we search for hot, then only this one pops up. So you know how searching works. Then there's also audit notes. Now, audit notes are a bit of a funny one. So I don't think we've got any audit notes on here. We don't. But basically, as part of the other functionality of this app, we can get it to automatically log errors for us, or anything, but mostly you use it to log errors. Sometimes people, when they've got really important functions that run, they want to log it whether it errors or not, so that they've got an audit log of all the times that function ran. Maybe you're calling an external API, or maybe you're sending an important email or a Zoho sign request, or pretty much any automation you do through the system, you'll use the logger to record the output of that. I've got clients who use this, obviously, and we've built loads of automations in their system. And I mean, they've had 2 million plus logs. So sometimes you can log too much. Sometimes you only want to log when there's errors and not just log any outcome. But either way, you can use it how you like. So with that, there is a built-in function which you can call from within any of your other functions, which is to create an audit note. And that will basically just create a note on any record. You say the module and the record ID and what the note content is, and then it'll create a note with audit at the front. So if we, here, let's just do this. Let's go audit. And then here we'll say, this is the audit note with lots of info. And usually these audit notes will have loads and loads of information in them. Okay, so we're going to save that. And then you see here, because I switched off hide audit notes, that shows. But you don't want your notes to be dirty with kind of background information that's not really too important to you. So you can just click hide and then it won't show here. This is also really useful when you require a note as part of a blueprint. So in there you can tell your staff that they must always start the note with audit : and then write the note. And then that way those notes won't appear in the normal notes. And only when you want to, you can go in and see them. It's really, really powerful. So we've looked at notes, we've looked at email. Oh, by the way, when you tag someone in a note, they get the email from Zoho saying you have been tagged in this note, just like they would get if you tag them up here, you know, in the traditional Zoho notes. So if we went Jane like that, then that would email Jane and tell her that we've tagged her. Well, this does exactly the same thing when we tag her on this note like this. All right, so now we've looked at notes, we've looked at email, we've looked at phone. So let's look at address. Yes, so let's look up an address here. Let's pick 20, what's a road? Cambridge Road, St. Albans. Yes, look up the address. And then there it is, 20 Cambridge Road, the camp, St. Albans, Hertfordshire, and the postcode. So we can either copy that address, and then if you look up here in my URL bar, we can paste it, and there's the full address. Otherwise, we can go save. And now you see I've already got a template saved, and I'll show you about the templates in a minute. But I'm going to select this template. And now here, we didn't have a town, okay? And because I'm in England, it's putting the state as England, but actually the state should be Hertfordshire. So I'm fixing that there. And now I'm going save address. So I get that touch point where I can fix the address and make it perfect before I actually save it to the record. And now if we refresh the record, we can go on to the mailing address and we can see that that is now the address. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so we've also got these other addresses here, other street, other city, other state, etc. So let's go back into our extensions settings and go to address templates. And so firstly, now that we know we're in England and we know how this comes, so we want to move county to state because it's always going to be England for me. And then I'm still going to keep town/city because sometimes people are going to live in towns or villages and that will come through as town. Other times it'll come through as city. So I can just delete that ad hoc as I need to. So I'm going to save the changes there. And then I'm also going to create a new template for the contacts module. And I'm going to look for other, and then let's copy that. So other street. And then we want to go other city, other state, other zip, and other country. All right, perfect. So now in street, I want to use the house number, and then I want to use the road. And then for city, I want to use the town, and I want to use the city. And let's put a space between those. For state, I want to use county, and then zip, we'll go, I think it's postal code. Yes, postal code. And country is going to be country. Now you'll see that we have the option here to add the latitude and the longitude. So if you've got number fields in your system where you want to save those, you can. Otherwise, you can also save them to plain text fields. So if we go to, let's see, oh no, I need to come out of here. We'll add a new one and we'll go description because I know that's a text field. And then here I'm going to say lang. Where's that? Lang. Oh no, it's lat. And long and longitude. There we go. So we're going to create that template. Oh, we need to give it a name. So this is other address, create template, create. All right, perfect. Let's go back here. Let's reload this and then let's look up another address. So we go back here and we go to address and 20 Cambridge Road, St. Albans. And find address. There we go, 20 Cambridge Road. So now we can just save this address. So we'll come in here, select our other template, get rid of town, and oh, I messed up the template. Okay, never mind. But you'll see here, we've got latitude and longitude being saved to the description. So save address. And then just before I forget, I want to go back here and just get rid of that extra hash. And let's do LAN and LON. Okay, save changes. Perfect. So that's the address lookup done. You can also look up addresses from here, but you can't add them to a new record. So if we go here, 34 Cambridge Road, St. Albans, and there it is. We can copy it. So maybe we need it for an external system, but from here, because we're not in a record, we don't know, which record to save that to. So let's go back here and let's go to notes. So when you're on notes, this is quite a small thing here. It might be quite difficult if you've got 200 notes. It might be quite difficult to, see what's going on. So you can always go like that, and that pops this out into a new tab. And from here, you can still add new notes, new note here. And we'll go save, and there we go, new notes added. And then whenever we're ready, we can just go back to the contact. And you can open the settings by clicking up here. So before I go, I'm just going to walk you through the subscription. So this is how the subscription works right now. So you've got the option of the bronze, which is the starter. Now, when you start a free trial and you install this, you'll get 30 days free access to the bronze plan. That gives you 50 address lookups per day, 200 phone validations per day, 200 validates emails per day, and 10 verify emails per day. That should be enough for a small business to be able to use this as much as they like. The verify emails might run out if you're adding more than 10 new email addresses to your system per day, but that would be pretty good for a small business to be adding more than 10 per day. And then silver, we've got 50 verify emails, and I doubt you're going to go over any of these limits. And then if you have loads of staff members and you're doing lots of validations and verifications, then you've got the gold plan. And if you're a super big business, then contact me about the platinum plan. So near the end of your free trial, if you want to stick with the extension, then this button will say activate subscription. You can click here and it'll load up and ask you to put in your card details. That's directly into Zoho subscriptions, so your details are safe. And Zoho subscriptions will then take your card details and charge you for the first subscription, and then automatically each month from then on, along with statement emails and all that jazz. If you are interested in using some of the functionality from Zoho CRM Toolbox in the background, so in custom functions or on custom widgets, you can do that. We have API access available, and you can click here to learn more, where we have some articles showing you exactly how to set this up and how to use it. So have a look through here and get in touch if you've got any questions. At any point, you can contact us via the chat widget, which is on all of our extensions and all of our websites and help pages. So it's really useful. But I hope you've enjoyed this quick video showing you the new functionality. And if you're one of our previous subscribers, I really hope you love the changes. I think it's a massive improvement on what we had before. It's got additional functionality. It's got API access for background stuff. There's still stuff I haven't shown you. Actually, I'm just remembering. So if you go into the logs, you'll see here, these are some of the error logs that I've output. And you can see we used to have to copy and paste this and then put that in a code editor to see what was going on. But now we can see it in here, and I'm going to be improving on this even further. I'm going to have search functionality. I'm going to have collapsible nodes. So it's going to make it so much easier to look through your error logs and work out what went wrong. I'm potentially even thinking about adding a sort of automatic retry in here. The sky's the limit as to what we can do. And obviously with the logs, if you aren't the technical person at your business and you review the logs and you want to tag someone in a note and say, hey, Jane, please take a look at this, please deal with this. You can use the normal notes extension here, and that will tag Jane, and Jane will know, oh, I need to come and work on this. There's so much more that I haven't covered, but I don't want this video to be too long. So other things that this has, if you send an email and the email bounces, you'll automatically get an error log report that will tell you that the email has bounced, and then you'll be able to come into the logs here and see that it bounced, and you'll be able to go straight to the record, and then from that record you'll be able to fix that using the CRM Toolbox. So any questions, please do reach out. There's so much to go through. It was very difficult to try and pack this all into such a short space of time. The link will be in the description to install this latest version into your CRM. And within a couple of days, the latest version is going to be live on the marketplace. So you can go onto the marketplace up here and you can search for Zoho CRM Toolbox and you can install it directly from here. And check out our other extensions. We have 2 other extensions. If you're in the UK, we've also just recently redone the company's house extension, which is also brilliant. So you can quickly look up company's house information and add it to your records, and it has all sorts of automations and stuff as well. It's really cool. And also ZE Portal, which is in the process of having its facelift done, and it's getting completely redone. It's not a facelift; it's completely being built back up from the ground. So that one's a massive extension. It's got so much functionality, so it's taking a lot longer to do. But I wanted to get these company's house and the CRM Toolbox. I wanted to get those updates done, and then I'm going to focus on the ZE Portal. But again, if you've got any questions, reach out. If you've got any suggestions, please reach out. If there's any functionality that you think this is missing, that you wish this had, then please do let me know, because I'm looking to add as many great features to my extensions as possible. If you've got a completely different idea for a completely different extension that you would love to see, reach out. We might be able to come to some sort of arrangement where I build that for you. You get free access to it, but then I can sell it to other people, for example. Or maybe we partner on it. Who knows? Reach out. Let's discuss it. Anyway, thanks for your time, guys. I really hope you like this, and I hope you'll give the demo a try. Cheers.